dignity out the window. What the actual fuck? I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it. I've got ulcerative colitis. What is ulcerative colitis? What's my left, what's my right? I don't know. This is my right. I get so confused. I have to really like, yay, but nay. Bittersweet. My GP, who is rude and dismissive and arrogant and, to be quite frank, is a bit of an arsehole. I'm gonna cut that out. We're Georgina and David. In March 2025, we packed up our lives in Menorca and made the epic journey across Spain in our little car with our 2 cats to relocate to Galicia, northwest Spain. After rising rental prices and struggling for years to get onto the property ladder, we knew something had to change. Feeling financially pushed out of our home, we decided to pour our life savings into this abandoned stone house in rural Spain, where we'll be living a more sustainable way of life and renovating this property into our dream home. Each day we'll be facing new challenges, starting new projects and exploring the beauty of green Spain. So join us on our journey amongst the pines, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you love a good starting over story. Hi guys, hello. Welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, welcome, hello, thank you for joining us. And if you have already subscribed and you're not new here, thank you for returning. Today I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about what we've been up to in the last 6 months, because we've been overwhelmed with the amount of messages from you guys asking for an update, asking what we've been up to, because we're very aware it has been a few months since we've updated you guys. Or posted really anything, apart from a couple of shorts, which are basically just nature walks and some flowers, and not anything revealing as to what we've been up to and why we've not been active on YouTube or any social media for that matter. If you follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well, you'll also notice that there's only been a few shorts and reels posted. There's not really been anything big or any updates. Excuse my tummy rumbling. If you can hear that, I've not eaten yet. I've not had lunch, so I'm a little bit hungry. So I just thought I'd come out in the garden. I've got my hat on because it's sort of drizzling a little bit, but we've had some really hot weather, but this past week we've had quite a lot of rain and it's just so fresh and lovely out here. I should have made myself a cup of tea actually. I don't know why I didn't. Anyways, I'll have a cup of tea after I've updated you all. So basically, in a nutshell, I've not been well, unfortunately. We moved here early March, and if you've already watched our videos, we've only got 3 long form videos up at the moment, but if you have watched our videos, then you will see our journey. It was like a 25-hour journey driving here in our little Seat Ibiza with our 2 cats in the back. And then we uploaded another video of our house tour of what we arrived to and what the house condition was like when we got here. And then we uploaded another video of us basically gutting the house and cleaning it. Operation Clean Up, and it literally was Operation Clean Up. It was quite grotesque. And since then, we have documented a lot of stuff. We've got the content and we've recorded a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of content to go through and edit and sort and post and update you guys with. But we've just not actually uploaded anything. And that I will completely take accountability for. That is all on me, because I'm the one that's doing all of the editing and all of the uploads. And I put a pin in it. I had to put a pin in it for health reasons, because I noticed, so this is going to be very raw and like disclaimer for anybody that doesn't want to listen to health conditions or anything like that. You can just skip forward and watch the next video of updates of what we've been up to. But because we've been inundated with queries, when's your next update, what's going on, I hope you guys are okay, you know, you've kind of gone quiet. I just wanted to give you guys an update. So not long after we moved here, I would say, like, we moved here in the March, I would say it was probably around middle of April, so we'd only been here about a month, I started getting some strange symptoms. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to say it, and if you're watching and you're like, I don't want to watch this anymore, I don't want to listen to this, then you can just turn it off and go to the next video. But I started noticing blood from my back end, and like that's not normal, is it? I ignored it, and I pushed it out of my mind, and I just thought, oh, you know, I didn't have any other symptoms other than like frequent bathroom visits and blood. And I was like, but other than that, I felt okay. So I just thought, I've got too much going on here to be dealing with this. So I did ignore it. And after about 4-5 weeks, it got to a point where I couldn't really ignore it anymore. So I mentioned it to my partner. Well, I mentioned it to him before that, but it got to the point where I was like, I can't ignore this anymore. I mentioned it to my partner again, and I said to him, you know, this isn't getting any better, it's actually getting worse. It's getting more frequent and it's getting more pronounced. So we were like, right, okay, let's go to the doctors. We just moved here, so we weren't actually registered. If anyone can relate to this, I'm sure probably everybody can relate to this at some point in their life, where they've been to the doctors and they've been dismissed, or they've said, oh, you know, it's probably stress, you've gone through a lot. And I was given anti-diarrhea medicine, basically, and he wasn't taking it seriously that, you know, there was a lot of blood. I was passing a lot of blood. Long story short, we finally managed to get through to the doctor by me having to advocate for myself so fiercely, honestly, quite traumatically, because it's not something that you really want to be discussing. It's quite an intimate thing. It's quite personal. It's quite intimate. It's not like, oh, look, I've got a cut on my hand, you know, when it's like a bowel issue. Long story short, finally got sent to the hospital. They ran a lot of tests, couldn't really find what was wrong. So they booked me in for a colonoscopy. They did a scan. They couldn't see anything in the scan. The blood tests came back fine. My stool test came back fine. They wanted to rule out like salmonella and like anything, because obviously we were drinking the local water. So I was thinking, is there a parasite in the water? Is it because we've got chickens and I've been going in the chicken coop every day collecting eggs? Have I picked up like salmonella or something like that from the chickens? My partner was fine, our neighbour's fine. And we were like, well, you know, it's something that only I have been coming into contact with. So doctor wanted to like eliminate all possibilities first, basically. So they did that and everything was eliminated. So next step was the colonoscopy. And they also like put me on a diet of basically just white rice, boiled white rice, hard-boiled eggs, and like boiled chicken breast. And they wanted to eliminate like gluten and dairy to see if I was like celiac or lactose intolerant or anything like that. It wasn't changing anything. I was still like passing blood, the frequency, the cramping. The cramping was something that came later. I didn't have that initially. So by the time the colonoscopy came round, it was the 19th of June actually. At that point I was really struggling. I'd gone on medical leave from work. I had severe fatigue, mental like brain fog, physical fatigue. The physical cramping that I had in my abdomen was nauseating at times, and it didn't even seem to matter whether I'd just eaten or done anything active. It seemed to just have no rhyme or reason for it. It would just hit me like a bolt out of the blue, and I would be bent over at like a 90-degree angle, like crippling pain. And I found that the only things that were sort of helping was applying heat and just being horizontal or laying on my left side with a heat pad, was the only thing that was sort of slightly helping with the cramps. So anyways, fast forward, I had the colonoscopy, and they told me that I had a lot of active inflammation throughout my entire colon and lots of bleeding throughout. So they said, we've done lots of biopsies, we're going to send the biopsies away and get them checked, but in the meantime we're going to treat you for ulcerative colitis. If anyone has ever heard of that, or you know about it, or you know someone with it, or you've got it yourself, then you know what that feels like to hear that. It's quite, well, I'd done a bit of research beforehand, and I'd actually been on ChatGPT with all my symptoms. And ChatGPT had sort of like loosely diagnosed me with ulcerative colitis before I even had the colonoscopy. And I was kind of like, well, what is ulcerative colitis? What is ulcerative colitis? So I did some research, and I was like ticking all the boxes. And I was like, this does sound like me. Like, this sounds exactly like what I'm going through here. So when the doctor, the colonoscopy person, doctor, whoever that was, had said, you know, we think you've got ulcerative colitis, they hadn't ruled out Crohn's disease fully. So they'd obviously done these biopsies because they wanted to find out. But it was looking like it was IBD, which is inflammatory bowel disease, for anyone that doesn't know. And the two main inflammatory bowel disease that fall under that category are Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Now, I am completely new to this. I've only learned about this condition since I've been diagnosed with it. I do not know anyone with ulcerative colitis. I know one person with Crohn's disease. It's not something that I've lived closely with. It's not something that I've done a lot of research on up until recently. And anyways, so fast forward, my biopsy results come back and it's confirmed I've got ulcerative colitis. It was a bittersweet diagnosis to hear, because on one hand, I was like, finally, I've got an answer. I've got something physical that I can treat, that I can move forward with. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, on the other hand, I had just been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease that I was going to have for the rest of my life. So, yay, but nay. Bittersweet, to say the least. So they started me on, well, they say started me on, I'm still on it now, a medicine called salifalc, which I don't know if that's just in Spain or if that's like a worldwide name for it. It's a anti-inflammatory suppository, mesalazine, I think it's called, or mesalazina. I don't know how it's pronounced in English or in Spanish. It could be different. And that's 1 gram, mesalazine, salifalc, suppository. Why do we do that? Suppository. All dignity out the window. But I have to do that every single night. And I have done since the day of my colonoscopy, actually the day after my colonoscopy. And then orally, I have to have these like granules, which the name of those are pentasa. Again, I don't know if that's just in Spain or if that's like a worldwide known name. Again, it's a type of inflammatory, anti-inflammatory, mesalazine medication, it says on the box. That is a 4 gram, which apparently is the highest dose of that medicine, of the pentasa. Is the highest dose of pentasa that you can get to try and push me into remission. I'm not an expert, so don't take anything that I'm saying as like doctorative advice. I can't even speak. Don't say, you know, don't take everything that I'm saying as like factual words and explanation for things, because I'm very new to this. I'm just going based on like what I've read and what I've been told and what I can remember. So if you're watching and you're saying, oh, for goodness sake, George, you've pronounced that wrong, then feel free to correct me in the comments and let me know what the proper pronunciation for certain words are, and things. So yeah, anyways, I've been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and I had some time off work, which I really didn't want. I really didn't want to take so much time off work. I love my job. I love my role. I love my work, my colleagues, my position, my role within the company. I love everything that we do as a company. And taking so much time off work just really felt, I don't know, I felt like I was being beaten, you know. But I knew that it was essential for my healing process. Stress can be such a huge factor in flares. And So I really needed to rest my body, rest my mind. And moving here, if you've seen our previous videos, you'll know that it wasn't an easy ride and it was a stressful situation that we were in. Our bed was still in our lounge. We hadn't sorted everything out. There was still so much to do. And there I was laying on the bed in the lounge with boxes surrounding me, with a heat pad on my tummy, having 15 bathroom visits a day, passing blood, feeling so weak and so fatigued. And oh my God, just like the guilt, I was feeling so bad. And David was doing so much. He was out here stripping the garden, recording with the GoPro. Like, I've got so much footage for you guys. Keep watching, because I have got so much transformation footage, but bear in mind that I'm not in a lot of it, because whilst David's doing a lot of this, I'm laid up in bed with a heat pad or in the bathroom, which obviously is not documented. But I didn't want to document any of that. And I wasn't planning on really like disclosing all of this and like telling you any of this information at all. It was only when I started watching YouTube videos on ulcerative colitis and people that had just been diagnosed with it, that I started realising that actually maybe I should put a video out there for people to see, not just like an update on what we've been up to and why we've not posted for so long, but for anyone out there that has been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis or IBD or any kind of autoimmune disease or bowel condition, that it's okay to talk about. Yes, it's embarrassing. Yes, your dignity goes out the window, but do you know what? It's life, and things happen, and not everything is always going to be hunky-dory, and we take our health for granted. It's so easy to take your health for granted. And I think, like, David's got type 1 diabetes. And when he was diagnosed around about the age of 30, 33, around that sort of age. So he's not had it for very long. And when he was diagnosed with it, it was like, you live in denial for a little while, because you think, not that you go around thinking I'm invincible, but it's so common to think that won't happen to me. And you don't consciously think that, but you just go about your day, go about your life, when you're feeling healthy and you're feeling fit and normal, you don't even consider it as an option. It doesn't even dawn on you. You see other people with conditions and you think, oh gosh, how awful for them. But it doesn't dawn on you that, well, that could happen to me any moment. Do you know what I mean? With anything, when you've been diagnosed with a medical condition, it takes a while for you to adjust, not just physically, but mentally. And I think I'm still not mentally like adjusted to it. And there's been times when, like over the past few months, when we've wanted to go out and do something and I've said, I can't today, I'm sorry, not today. During this time of healing, coming to terms with it all, the whole ulcerative colitis diagnosis, I developed a kidney stone, which I wasn't aware of. And out of the blue, out of nowhere, my body decided that it wanted rid of it. I am not exaggerating. The pain was unreal. I didn't know that I was passing a kidney stone. I was like crying in pain. I was in so much pain. And the searing pain it started off on my right side here, and it went up and over my hip like a horseshoe shape, you know, up and over my hip and into my back there. And the pain moved. It started on my right side. Sorry, I'm saying right side, that's my left, that's my right. I get so confused with my left and right. Started on that side, went over to the middle, and then it ended up on my right side. What's my left, what's my right? I don't know. This is my right. I get so confused. I have to really this is my right. So, yeah. And the pain was so severe. Oh my God. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was on all fours on the bed, and then I was on my back with my knees up to my chest, and then I was on my side, and then I was like, I'm going to pass out. So I slid off the bed onto the floor, Don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but I just felt like if I was lower to the ground, I wouldn't fall. I was on the bed, like I wasn't going to fall anywhere. Anyone that's passed a kidney stone that's watching this, you understand me. You know. I've got a history of kidney issues, kidney infections and suspected stones. They've never actually caught it on ultrasound or in a sieve, in a strainer. But they've suspected it for years, that my body produces kidney stones because of the amount of times that I've been to the A&E with pains and weeing blood and no sign of infection or double kidney infections. God, it's just been awful over the years. And it seems to come in waves of like 2 to 3 years. Every 2 or 3 years I end up with another kidney infection, back up at the hospital with suspected kidney stones. And they've never really found the root cause of it. And this day that I was passing a kidney stone, that I didn't know what the hell was going on, I thought that I had like a perforated bowel. I honestly thought that my colon had split and that I was going to die. It was the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire friggin' life. David phoned for an ambulance for me. I just remember sitting on the floor rocking because I didn't know what to do with myself, and I was like, this isn't right, this isn't right, something's not right here, this isn't right. This is not right, this isn't normal, this isn't normal. I just remember repeating that over and over again. And David was like, right, I'm phoning for an ambulance. It was a Sunday night. Ambulance turned up, 2 paramedics. They popped me in the back of the ambulance. By the time the ambulance got here, I was feeling a lot better. And I was embarrassed because I was like, I can stand up now. Like I'm not crying or heaving. The pain had subsided so much. I was left with like a dull ache instead of the sharp, stabbing, searing, burning pain. I was like left with this dull ache. But they were like, we're taking you up anyway. So got in the back of the ambulance, went up to the local A&E doctor's surgery that's like a 24-hour emergency room. And the doctor spoke to me and asked what was wrong, blah, 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 and gave me a little pot and said, I need a urine sample. I was like, why? I've got ulcerative colitis. Like, this isn't my wee, this isn't urine, this is my bowel. Like, she said, nevertheless, I need a urine sample, please. So off I went in the doctor's surgery and gave a sample. I thought, well, this is good actually because I need a wee anyway. So I had a wee and it was dark red. It was darker than the colour of this hat. And it had a stone in it. I couldn't believe my eyes. I looked at it and I was like, absolutely gobsmacked. I could see a stone in the bottom of my urine sample. What the actual fuck? I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was just absolutely gobsmacked. I went back into the doctor's surgery, back into the room, handed it to her and was like, that's not normal, is it? Like, there's a stone in it. She had a look, she examined it. There was another nurse that came in and they looked at it and they confirmed, you've just passed a kidney stone. And I was just like, well, okay. And she said it's common. That's very common with ulcerative colitis. I had no idea. I had no idea that it was common with ulcerative colitis. There's me for years having kidney issues, and I've just been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and then I passed a kidney stone. Well, that was 6 weeks ago. Today's Sunday. 3 days ago, Thursday, I passed another one. So 2 kidney stones in the last 6 weeks. So David's not in this video because I just feel like this is an update for me, for my health, and there wasn't really much for him to update on this video. But keep watching because there's loads of videos coming where you'll see David trimming the garden, sorting the house, repairing things, jet washing. He has been an absolute saint. He really has. He has done so much. I think that was a leaf that fell on me. I don't know. David has done so much. He has been an absolute dream. He has been an angel, a saint. I cannot thank him enough. He has done so much. And whilst all of this has been going on and he's been doing all of this, he's also supported me mentally, emotionally, physically. He has been my rock. He really has. So David, thank you as well. And yeah, and just to let everyone know that I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm on top of it. The healthcare system here in Galicia is incredible. So much better than I was expecting. They're so quick, so on it. So good. I am so grateful. So thank you as well to the Spanish healthcare. I am resident here in Spain and I do pay into the system. I pay into it, and I have been doing so for years now. And as a result, I get to obviously benefit from all of the Spanish national healthcare. I don't have private healthcare. I go with the national health. So thank you. It's been amazing. All of this healthcare, I really couldn't fault it. Apart from my GP, who is rude and dismissive and arrogant and, to be quite frank, is a bit of an arsehole. But a little bit of like advocating is what it takes to actually get heard and get seen. And I know that some people go through months and months and months, sometimes years, of issues and doctor's visits before they actually get a diagnosis and get treatment. So I am so incredibly grateful for that I haven't had to go through a long process of all of that. You know, I got, what was it? We moved here in the March, I got diagnosed in the July. You know, so I'm not going to go on about it any longer. For anyone that is interested to know what ulcerative colitis is, you can obviously do your research and look into it. But I think for anyone that knows what it is, understands what I've been going through and what I'm going through and what my diagnosis is. And it's one of those things, unfortunately, it is lifelong, but it's treatable. So hopefully with the right treatment plan, I can carry on with life as normal or semi-normal as I always have, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Say a prayer for me. I'm going to end the video here. Thank you everybody so much for watching. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. I know it was a really long explanation as to why we haven't updated you or uploaded any videos for a while. So if you've stuck with us, thank you. And continue to stick with us because we have got some absolute belters for you, of some befores and afters, what we've been doing, what David's been doing. I have managed to do some things inside the house, and we even had our first guest. My best friend from the UK came to visit for 5 days, and so yeah, so watch out for that. Keep an eye out for our chicken video because you're not going to want to miss that. We hatched our own chicks from eggs in the incubator and it was absolutely amazing. So keep an eye out for that video as well. That will be coming soon with an update of everything else with the chickens. So there we go. Thanks for watching. I'm going to leave you on that note with the sunflowers, and I'll give you an update again very soon. Thanks guys. So without further ado, I'm going to go and have a poo. I'm going to cut that out. Thanks for watching guys. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe and that notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos. And feel free to drop a comment, reach out to us with any questions or any ideas that you've got. And we hope to see you in the next one.